Today, I am making Italian wedding soup. For the mini meatballs, I have 3/4 of a pound of ground beef, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, and Italian seasonings, 2 eggs, half a cup of fresh grated Parmesan cheese, a half a cup of fresh chopped parsley, and half of that I'm going to use in the mini meatballs and half in the soup. The same with a half a cup of fresh basil and a third a cup of fresh oregano. Continuing with the meatballs, I have 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme, 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and 1/4 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper and sea salt. I'm mixing the breadcrumbs and the milk together and setting to the side for about 5 minutes till I'm ready to make the meatballs. You can also use ground veal, turkey, or chicken. Everybody makes this soup differently, but I'm showing you how we traditionally make it here in Pennsylvania. Some people will brown the meatballs in a pan or under the broiler before adding to the soup, but today I am adding them in raw. You can make the meatballs any size that you wish, but we like them spoon size, and that's about dime size. They can be a little time consuming to make, but they are well worth it, and it's a great time to get the kids in the kitchen and get them involved. All those spices and Parmesan cheese and the meatballs are going to seep out into the broth and add a wonderful flavor. Going to give those ingredients a good mix, make my mini meatballs, and refrigerate them until I'm ready. If you like this video recipe, remember to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. You can also find me on Facebook and Google+. In my large soup pot, I'm adding a couple tablespoons of oil, 1 cup of diced onions, celery, and carrots, and a little salt and pepper. Going to give that a good stir and let those veggies cook for about 5 minutes. Now I'm adding 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and the other half of my fresh parsley, basil, and oregano. I'm going to cook that for an additional 1 to 2 minutes, stirring constantly, being careful that my garlic does not burn. It wouldn't be Italian soup without adding the wine, and this is optional, but I'm adding 1 cup of white wine. It's going to add a lot of flavor to the soup. I'm going to let that alcohol cook out for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to start adding my broth. I'm using homemade chicken broth, but you can use a low-sodium box chicken broth. I added a total of 12 cups. I'm going to turn the heat up to high and bring that to a boil. The soup's at a boil, and I'm going to start adding my meatballs. They're very tiny, and they're not going to take long to cook at all, only 15 to 20 minutes. You can add as many meatballs to your soup as you like. And whatever you have left over, you can put in spaghetti sauce or even make meatball subs. Giving that a gentle stir and going to add my pasta. And I'm adding 1 cup of orzo pasta. You can use whatever small pasta that you wish. You can use acini di pepe, pastina, ditalini, but traditionally around here we use the orzo. Giving that a gentle stir and going to let that cook for another 15 minutes at a simmer. I have 4 cups of fresh spinach. I'm going to give it a rough chop and add to the soup at the last 5 minutes. It looks like a lot of spinach, but it will shrink down and cook into the soup. It's going to add an earthy flavor and texture. I think it's one of the highlights of the soup. Letting that simmer for an additional 5 minutes, and then we're ready to eat. Soup and bread were made for each other, so tonight we're having a loaf of, you guessed it, Italian bread. This Italian wedding soup turned out absolutely delicious, rich, heartwarming, and satisfying. It has to be one of our top 3 favorite soups. It's one of those soups that you take a bite of and you have to say, now that is good. I hope you make this soup in your kitchen. Make it your own and enjoy it as much as we do. If you like this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to future videos from Tess's Kitchen. And until next time, enjoy.